Good morning. Thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Big headline in the Washington Post this morning, Friday, as we're taping. Trump moves from firing shots at Obamacare to all-out war. Here to talk about what that means and what it means more specifically to Massachusetts is the congressman from the 4th District, Congressman Joe Kennedy. Welcome.
John, good to see you.
Good to have you here, Congressman. So, 2 executive orders, most notably, happened late last week. One expanding the so-called association health plans that have been controversial in the past for violating state insurance laws, not paying medical claims, and another one, arguably the big one, stopping subsidies to health insurers that help make health care affordable for millions of lower-income citizens. Will these orders stand? And if they do, what does it mean to us here in Massachusetts?
So these are potentially devastating for residents in Massachusetts, for those that are trying to get, or that get their health care through our exchanges. And look, most fundamentally, it's devastating what health care I think is supposed to mean for this country. What the combination of what these 2 orders seek to do is doubling down on some of the bills that the American public said just weren't good enough over the course of the past 10 months in Congress, which every single iteration of them, John, depending on, put the details aside for a second, created one set of healthcare rules and values for the rich and the well-off and the healthy, and a different set for everybody else. The latest version of them literally pitted American against American, saying we can expand healthcare to states like Alabama and Mississippi and Oklahoma if we take it away from people in Massachusetts and New York and California, which is crazy. What these last 2 executive orders do, and look, we got to see the details on it as this plays out. This is the first step in this process. But those association plans, there's been huge concerns about fraud and abuse in years past as those details have come out. It essentially is an end run around the consumer protections put in place under the Affordable Care Act to ensure that health insurance, when people are paying into it, it is there for you when you need it. And these CSR payments, look, this stabilizes markets so that lower-income families can afford to get health insurance. There's no need for President Trump to do this. You hear an awful lot about fiscal responsibility. Repealing these CSR payments actually adds to the deficit. There's no logic behind it other than his additional attempt to try to destroy health care.
You said this could be devastating to Massachusetts, and you referenced the low-income people who rely on subsidies, who buy their insurance through the exchanges. But health care is more than just those subsidies in this state. It's one of our biggest industries and biggest employers, and health insurers constitute one of our biggest industries. What are the potential implications to middle-class employment and income in the state if this goes forward?
Again, I think we have to see the details onto exactly what this means as that goes through the regulatory process. But make no mistake, it's not good, period. It's not. What this means is that you're going to see massive increase in premiums by forecasts of 20% or higher to communities across the country. Again, for no reason, right? So you're going to have families that are paying more money just because the federal government decided, the Trump administration decided not to make these payments and added to the deficit. You're taking money away from folks that are working paycheck to paycheck for no purpose. And the challenge on that then becomes just the fundamental question of why? What good are you trying to seek? And to try to say that you're fixing something that's failing, this part of the Affordable Care Act isn't.
Could we see hospitals folding or cutting workers here? Could we see insurance companies pulling out?
I think what you could see, potentially, depending again on kind of as those numbers play forward, are the consequence of some insurers pulling out. It certainly won't help decrease the uninsured rate in Massachusetts. What you might see is as those prices get higher, more and more people not opting to buy that insurance. And what you might also see then is a shift towards Medicaid. And so that's another challenge that we're going to have here in the state, again, for no good reason. And that's one of the parts that I struggle with most on this. Look, there's a big disagreement on health care at the federal government between Democrats and Republicans. Republicans have even been supportive of these payments, and they've voiced their support in the last 24 hours, too. So this one really is illogical.
Well, let's talk more about this when we come back from our break. We're talking with Congressman Joe Kennedy, and we'll have more of our conversation in a moment, so please stay with us. Welcome back. We're talking with Congressman Joe Kennedy of the 4th District here in Massachusetts, and because of the big news about the new presidential assault on Obamacare, we've been focusing on that. There's been this bipartisan effort in the Senate, the Lamar Alexander and Patty Murray committee taking testimony. Charlie Baker was down there talking about this. Is that for real? Is there any hope now, looking forward here, for some kind of bipartisan fix that's even remotely acceptable?
Look, I certainly hope so, and I applaud Senators Alexander and Senator Murray for doing so and actually engaging in the process that Congress should have been engaged in from day one in this administration that, unfortunately, so far we've been shut out of. Look, I hope that process continues in the Senate. I've had a number of conversations with some influential and senior Republicans this past week about that very topic. I'm candidly, John, not optimistic that they're quite ready to do that in the House as yet.
Why? What are they saying to you?
John, one of them actually said that we're not, even though that might be the best way forward, my words, not his, that we have to lose an election before our folks are going to realize that Obamacare is here to stay.
Okay, so that's the bottom line, isn't it? That basically everything in Washington, whatever goes on over the next year plus, it all hinges on November 2018 in terms of whether or not this system gets blown up. Is that correct?
John, I think for a number of my Republican, particularly my House colleagues, that have campaigned on the fact that the Affordable Care Act is the worst law passed in recent American history, that after they failed to repeal it, it's awfully hard for them to just pick up and move on, even if the rest of the country has said this is the law writ large is actually working and beneficial to our residents and to our country.
And it has majority support now.
And it has majority support now. And so, but it does not have majority support amongst Republican primary voters.
Right.
And so there is a political reality to this where they still struggle to pick up and pivot. I would hope that if the Senate is able to move forward on some sort of bipartisan basis that does get a strong level of support, that would at least move to the House and we can have that debate and try to put pressure on Republican leadership to move that bill. Like many issues, John, at the moment, which is why Washington is so frustrating in this time for many of us, there's 218 votes for an awful lot of things. I think there's 218 votes to stabilize these exchanges and actually make some incremental progress on lowering health insurance rates across the country and actually increasing the quality of our health care. It's just not 218 purely Republican votes, and that's the challenge we're at the moment.
We're just about out of time here, but I've interviewed you multiple times since you came into Congress. You've always been kind of optimistic, but today you sound frustrated.
Look, I am still optimistic, but it is a frustrating time. It's frustrating because particularly for I think the values and the vision that most residents in Massachusetts have, and from my conversations and travels throughout the state and around my district, healthcare, the economy, innovation, immigration, those values are under assault by this administration. And there is strong bipartisan support to actually move the ball forward. It's 218 votes that might be 100 Democrats and 150 Republicans, or 150 Democrats and 100 Republicans. You can do this. That's not the type of leadership we're getting at the moment from a Republican caucus that is trying to govern on a pure party line, and that's disappointing.
Congressman, thanks.
Pleasure.
Good to have you here. Come back again soon.
Thank you.
Congressman Joe Kennedy of the 4th District. That's our time. Now it's back over to my colleagues for more WBZ News.